Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode for the Financial Freedom Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Liu. And as you know, I'm always in the market for finding the top talent, the top 1%, doing innovative things, changing the world, one client at a time. So today I have Marie, and she's going to talk about business strategies to modernize your firm, 10x your business plan, sales, clients, and she's got a fantastic story to share, and I'm happy to welcome her to the stage. So Marie, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Dr. Liu. How are you?
Yeah, good. We had connected through Podmatch. The audience doesn't
Yes.
know you, so tell people your origin story and what you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, absolutely. Marie Torossian. I am, I came to the US from Lebanon. That's where I'm born and raised. I'm of Armenian origin. So that's another story. But if anybody knows about the Armenians, if you had friends, you would know what I mean. Uh, I started, I'm a CPA, so I started my career as a financial auditor, working for a local CPA firm here in Miami, Florida. 2017, I made the initial attempt, I would say, to kind of go off on my own and try to do my own thing. And then I got so scared. And I went back to a full-time job. And as soon as I did that, I realized, oh, no, I should not have done that. But I stuck around. I finished another year. And then when my second child was born, I decided, you know what, it's either all in or all out kind of thing. I'm just giving it my all. I'm going to push through. And here I am, since 2018, still surviving, and learning every day and growing every day. So I started with my CPA firm first. And then recently I launched my coaching business. So that's where I'm at now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like I said, burn your boat, so you have no option but to actually succeed. And you have, like I said, entrepreneurship is actually a journey of self-development and self-improvement and kind of making it on your own, which, I'm sure you're familiar. You have a very interesting background because you're a CPA, but then you're not your own business, focusing more on coaching now.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll talk about basically first thing is your firm. You talk about strategies to modernize your firm. So
Yes.
talk more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I started my firm, I was like a typical, in a sense, a typical accountant, a CPA that is really focused on the numbers. When I was auditing, I audited other people's businesses, and it was interesting to a certain point, not that interesting. But then I went to corporate accounting, and I really enjoyed being a corporate accountant, worked my way up to be a CFO. So during that whole time, I never got to learn how to really market myself or market the work that I do. Because, the people that hired me knew what I was doing. So it's a very different animal when you're out there as an entrepreneur and trying to bring in clients and you have no idea how to market yourself. So, and then the other thing I didn't know was how to sell. Like, one thing is you can market, it's another thing to sell and close on deals, right? Clients. So when I talk about how to modernize your firm, and even though I'm talking to other CPAs similar to me, it applies to, doctors, lawyers, all of us that are in the service space, and we are very technical. We know what the heck we're doing in that area of expertise. But then anything outside of, that, we're like, well, I don't know. But some of us have a little bit of, personality, and we're able to learn and then kind of develop those skills a little bit more than others. But so when I talk about modernizing your firm, that's one of the talks that I do, and I focus on, based on my experience, how to create a more of a modern CPA firm, how to be in the face, in the marketplace, always, using social media, podcasting, different avenues of marketing the business, however small it is right now compared to massive CPA firms. But you got to start someplace. And then the second thing I focus on is how to create multiple flows of income within your firm. And then the third thing I focus on is why a coach or a mentor is super important. So you can go through this entrepreneurial journey with a person that's guiding you.
Yeah, I love that. And it's all about basically it's modernizing your mindset. And you touched on it, social media. That's that's almost social media, you can be basically your own Bloomberg now,
Mm-hmm.
just like, podcasts, it's your own radio now. So, yeah. So, one thing is, I love this idea how we were talking backstage and we're talking about basically increasing the value of your firm. So you talk about increasing the value of your business.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do that. How do you increase the value of your business from your standpoint?
Yeah, sure. And I love that you brought that up. And that's one of my core services that I'm trying to launch on the CPA side. And that's what I do is, for me, it's very important that as a company is established not just like only sales wise, or they're focusing on sales, but they're also focusing on their structure of their business and how that actually translates when you want to sell your business. What does that mean? So for example, I use a software that gives us a good business estimate, value estimate, right? So it's not a certified valuation, but it gives you a good estimate of where your business is compared to the industry. So within that, there's like real core questions, right? So recurring revenue, they're asking key stakeholder or the person that's in charge of selling, or the owner. So how much of that is reliable on the business on that one person, right? And then there's other key metrics that they're asking for as the software is giving you a value. So what I've created is that between the audit work that I did and as a CFO, what I was working on, and now using that software, I put it all together in a systematic way of helping business owners say, okay, let's start with a value, an estimate. Let's see where you stand compared to the industry. The estimate gives 4 valuations and 13 KPIs, financial KPIs. And then from there, we can dig into like, okay, now let's look at how accurate the financials are. Let's build a long, let's say 3 to 5 year strategic plan with a forecast. And then now let's start measuring this. Like, how are we performing to the forecast? And then let's reevaluate. So over time, the business will start growing in value. Within this, I would also implement a lot of policies and procedures that business owners, even if they are like 2 million, 3 million, if they got there fast, they still haven't set their policies and procedures, and everything's going to fall apart if there's no procedures to follow. Everybody's doing their own thing. So I've kind of like converged all of the different pieces that I've done, like at different times of my life, to this one full product called Valuation MT. And that's how I help people grow the value of their business.
Yeah, I love that. And then the next thing I have is talking about, so you're talking about, and then one thing is the clients. So why is client relationship management vital for your business? And how do you scale it? Because initially it's going to be like you managing, and how do you scale it so it can, tell us more.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the key things that I realized I didn't know about either, like client relationship management. I mean, I build relationships. I'm a very social person, but that is one thing, and the client relationship management is a different thing. So what I realized is that to be able to gather all the notes, the prospects, the conversations, like you really need some place to put them, right? Like you can use Excel, of course, but that's going to be very cumbersome if your list gets bigger. So, a CRM system is a great way to kind of not only keep all the conversations in one place, but then also your continuous marketing, your email marketing, the campaigns, the newsletters, all the other marketing stuff that are going to go through it. To build that list, you need the CRM system. So that's something I started using early on, because I realized I can't keep up with these notes, writing names everywhere. And then if I was to remember what I was talking to them, it's like scrolling to like pages and pages, like, where was this conversation happening? So it's kind of like you just learn on the go because no one has taught you these things. And that's another thing I teach other CPAs, because I've noticed they don't do that. They don't even follow up. Let's put it that way. They won't follow up with a prospect that could have been a really great prospect. They just don't follow up. So that's a whole different thing. So when you want to scale and you're adding more team members, that's another thing that I've noticed where I was working in the past. Let's say adding truly business development individuals was not their priority, apparently. And when we were wondering why, we're not renewing members, we're not doing this. Like, yeah, well, now that I'm on the outside, I'm like, man, we didn't have any business development people. There was one person. One person has to carry the weight of I don't know how many $1 million. I'm like, doesn't make sense. So the best way is like when you have a CRM system and then you're bringing on different team members, then you can assign, let's say, a group of individuals, let's say prospects or clients that person is going to manage and handle and keep growing the list. So the best way to grow fast and scale is to have more than one of you talking to prospects.
How to you then basically building out scaling a team, and then what about automation? What about software? Tell us more about that.
The automation. So one of the CRMs that I use, and I know it can, by the way, the whole marketing web in the back can get super technical and complicated. And I have someone working on that. Literally the other day, I was telling my marketing intern, I said, I am so glad you are doing this. I tried this by myself like 5 years ago, and I gave up doing all the technical web in the back end. But there are some other softwares that have an automation system within them, and it's fine. It's great for a time being. The automations help, let's say, communicate to prospects on a not just automated way, but like it's faster, right? Like there's only so much you can do to remember, oh, I have to send a newsletter. I was there. I would be like, oh my God, it's beginning of the month. I haven't even created my newsletter yet. It's like, you want to be able to like, implement all these things kind of in early on and automate them as people are signing up or getting on your list. They receive their first newsletter, they maybe in welcome email, and then the whole list goes on. So you can't personally do it one-on-one, like when your list is getting bigger and you have to nurture that list over time. It's impossible. Some CRM systems with automation, marketing automation like that, you can preset a lot of emails and let it go. I have a full 365-day follow-up email system in my CRM system so that I never have to forget to do a touch point with someone over at least 365 days for 1 year.
So, as we come to the end of this, which is really interesting, you talk about a lot of ways of increasing the value, automating client relationship, modernizing. What is it, kind of you want the audience, the final take-home message, and how can they contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. My biggest recommendation, and not because I am doing coaching, but it is truly, it was life-changing for me when I had a billionaire coach, coaching me, and hence why I'm 10X certified. I'm a Grant Cardone licensee. So when I started really learning these billionaire strategies, and it changed my mindset and it changed the way I look at things. And when the hard times kick in and you don't have anyone picking you up, you are going to give up. So having a coach is super important. And even now, as I'm doing my coaching to others, I'm still getting coached every week so that I can stay on top of my game. I have to train, I have to be ready for my clients. So I would say, but the biggest takeaway for everyone is that get yourself a coach. And I would love to have the honor of coaching you. And the best way to reach out is I can, 788, that's my phone number. And they can also go to my website, www.
Yeah, and for all the audience out there, Marie's resources will be in the links and show notes. And thanks so much for coming on to the podcast, and thanks for dropping so much experience and wisdom.
Thank you, Dr. Lou. I appreciate you.